Stop thinking and start doing is our guest message this morning on Wake Up Legendary. What's going on? My name's Dave Sharpe. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Pile on in. Come on in. The water is just fine. It's warm. It's beautiful. It feels good in here. Come on now. Come on down. Get comfy. Let that hair down. Those of you who are, hanging out on the sidelines this week. And, just listen to some of the strategies and stories that the guests this week tell. And I think that what you'll find is that there's really nothing to be afraid of. And what's even cooler is the biggest thing to be afraid of is your own thinking. And that is what it sounds like Stephanie is pretty passionate about talking about. Stephanie, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So does it feel like it fits so far what I've commented on your message here for us this morning?
Yes, absolutely. We need to spend less time up here and more time actually getting stuff done.
Right, right, right. So tell us your story. Were you always a getter doner, or did you did you have some sort of a magical or even practical transformation that led you to this point to where you're in the mindset that you are now?
I definitely feel like everything has kind of led me to where I am right now. So, my background is in the beauty industry. I worked for one of the largest cosmetic brands in the world for about 9 years doing that. And then I went to graphic design school, which in hindsight, now you can just download the Canva app for free and anybody can become a graphic designer. But I think I spent about maybe 80 grand um, for my associate's degree, not even my bachelor's degree in graphic design school. And then, I got married, I had a family, and I had kids. And with the cost of childcare, it just made more sense for me to stay at home with my little ones. My
Mm.
husband has a very high profile job. He medically retired out from the Oakland Police Department. And if you don't know anything about Oakland, California, it's one of the more dangerous places um, to be. So, but he still has a very high profile job where he travels around the country and he's protecting other people. Hence, he's the one protecting. So, every time he would leave and he would go on these jobs, I was at home with my two little ones. And like a mom, God forbid, if something were to happen to him, I don't, what would I do? But I would always, that fear would set in, thinking
Mm.
about, okay, what am I going to do to take care of these little kids? Um,
Right.
and that's when I started, searching the internet and Googling about different ways that I can make money online.
You're gonna take
Um,
things into your own hands, right?
yeah, so every time he would leave and come back, I would have like a new thing, I think, of like,
Oh, how
okay, this is
sweet.
what I'm
Not having
doing.
an affair, but having an affair with the idea of actually protecting him fully, huh? That's really,
Yes,
really
I just
actually
need,
pretty sweet.
once you become a parent and it's not just you anymore, you have other people that you need to take care of. Um,
You're like, "I can't raise these little shits on my own. I actually need his help."
yeah, exactly. So like most people, I started in the network marketing. And
Woohoo! Did you get
yes,
your 3 who got 3 who got 3?
yes. And I quickly realized that I didn't want to pay for friendship anymore, right? 'Cause that's kind of what it is, paying for friendship. And I wasn't getting paid to be somebody's therapist and stuff and try to motivate them, right? It's hard, hard enough trying to motivate yourself to work your business, but to have to motivate other people is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Um, so that didn't work out for me. I also went into the print on demand thing and quickly realized that that was a lot of work. And then, again, scouring on social media, and I found all of these people, talking about how they're making an income online. And the one thing that they had in common was legendary marketer. And that's kind of what brought me to you and to this
Bunch of
business.
outcasts. Isn't that something? I mean,
Yeah.
all the people out there, the degrees and the gurus and all this, and people are talking about the old community of outcast over here,
Yeah.
the old black sheep who have turned into the white knight in a sense, because so many of us who were once laughed at for our entrepreneurial spirit, have in many ways been able to help family and friends out and come in. And our intentions were really pure, I think, the whole time. That's the thing. That happens, I think, with entrepreneurs, and it's sad when somebody quits because they feel like somebody doesn't believe in them or whatever, because just as you describe, or that they're doing something with only selfish interest. And I think at the heart of entrepreneurship, really, you come in maybe because you're in pain or you're scared, like you described, but you stay for the magic of being able to help people, and of how good that feels to actually really serve and make an impact. And or at least that's been my experience. So continue. Tell us what happened next.
Yeah, so that's why I love this business so much is it doesn't matter, what background you have, what your education's like, where you live, what you look like, how old you are. That's the beauty of this business is that it's really can be for anyone, but I feel like most people, we're always just thinking about what we want. We want to have more money, we want to have more time, we want to do all these things, and we spend so much time in our heads and in our brains and less time actually taking action and doing something to get us there.
Yeah.
And it was when I was in my 20s, I read this book that changed the way that I thought about things, and it was called The Power of Now by
Mm,
Eckhart Tolle. And it really talks about how, our mind and our brain can become like this disease because it just consumes ourselves. And we need to learn how to just recognize when we start to go down that deep rabbit hole of thinking and
yeah.
actually be able to silence that and actually just get into action and start doing stuff to get us there. It's like Pinterest.
Yeah.
We all go on Pinterest and we're like, oh, I want to make this good meal for dinner, or look at this workout I want to do, or I need to try this. And we pin them to this board. But how many of us are actually doing any of those
And I can tell
thousands
you're
of
speaking
things?
from personal experience,
Yep.
because we all, like, that's the best teachers are people who do have done it and are like, yeah, I know exactly what it's like to pin stuff. I mean, we all have that, right? Like every single person has saved posts on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, wherever. I
Yes.
do. Everybody does. It's a human thing. It's a human characteristic to say, "Oh, I like that. Let me put that off to the side. I'll get back to it."
Yes.
And it
That's,
gets
I mean,
blown out of proportion, or it's sort of like it's sort of like, I don't want to overcomplicate my examples here, but most things are a gift and a curse, or most things that are just normal human stuff that we all do. And what I love about your message is that where the danger comes in is when we start beating ourselves up, overthinking it, replaying failures of the past over and over and over again, and just spend too much time up here. And it really, it's not physical weight, but the more those thoughts get rehashed, it really begins to feel heavy.
yes, absolutely. As soon as like can't do it, Karen sneaks in your head, or like negative Nancy gets in there
Karen
and
gets a bad rap. Can we just leave Karen alone? I mean, Karen has been just annihilated just this entire past year. So
yes,
Karen's out
I
there.
know.
We're
But
gonna give you a break.
it creeps in there, and we just have to learn to, if we can recognize when we start to go down that negative path. I know a lot of people say readers are leaders. I'm a big believer that listeners are leaders, because as soon as you start having that negativity creep in, listen to something that gives you more positivity. Like for me, when I'm at the gym, I'm not listening to like Cardi B or Drake, to get me going. I'm listening to Wake Up Legendary. I'm listening to Mel Robbins. I'm listening to affirmations to get me in the right headspace that gets me motivated and gets me feeling good about life and what I'm doing so I can take action and start doing things.
Never any Drake, like never any Cardi.
Sometimes, but
I was just playing.
not
So
serving as much as the other things are.
yeah, no, I feel you. And you're, by the way, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It's really something. I when I found out that it was your birthday today and you were coming on, I was like, well, this girl really is talking or walking her talk. You know what I mean? Because you're here taking action, you're showing up. Like it's like, how do you feel being here today on your birthday doing this?
I'm not a religious person at all, but I definitely believe in the power of the universe. And when the universe opens a door for you, you have to walk through it. And when I got the email from you, like most people, you get that like nervous feeling. But I also think that the feelings of being nervous and being excited are the same things. So instead
Mm,
of stressing myself out like I'm nervous, I was really excited about it. And then when I found out that it was going to be today of all days on my birthday, I was like, there must be a reason why this is happening. So I'm here and I'm
yeah.
excited.
Yeah, well, happy birthday. I mean, really thankful that you decided to come and spend a little bit of time on your birthday with us. It really is a great example.
Thank you.
So your side hustle was Steph. So you will share your Instagram, which is identical. It just has the periods between the words. But talk to us about your journey of transitioning from education to taking action.
Yeah, so I started, posting because you have to make content, right? That's really how you drive traffic to your business. You can, unless you're going to do paid ads, but for me, social media is free, so I gave it a go
Why
and I
not?
started
Right.
content. And as soon as you start getting comfortable with one social media, I feel like something happens, right? Because the algorithms get all messed up. So you're never going to be able to figure it out with social media. I feel like as soon as you think you have it, you probably don't. Because I started off with Facebook Reels and just making content. And I'm a firm believer that, especially when you're starting out, I know somebody had mentioned on this show or like an email before that they don't look at other people's content and they come up with their own stuff, which is really great, but that's not for most people, right? Most people just need to start with the bare minimum to just get into action to doing something and get into the routine of it. So for me, I'm a firm believer that you don't need to come up with brand new stuff, right? It's like going to the gym for the first time. You're not really sure what you're doing. You don't know how to do the machines, but all you need to do is look at the person who's the most in shape at the gym and do what they're doing, right? And show up and be consistent. So that's kind of what I did. I would see these people post these videos and I would just recreate it. I mean, obviously, you want to put your personality into it, but don't be afraid that you have to reinvent the wheel for something. You just want
Yeah.
to see the people who are successful in the space. So I saw, Josh and Emily and Jessica and, Sean, and I would just recreate what they're doing because obviously what they're doing is working, right? So I
Yeah.
started posting on Facebook Reels and I got really good traction. I was getting a ton of views. And then all of a sudden, I joined the Facebook Reels program and I'm pretty sure now my videos barely have 100 views on them. So then I switched to Instagram and I started posting on Instagram and I think I got shadow banned on Instagram. And then I started posting on TikTok and I'm in TikTok jail right now until I think like the end of this month. But that's the beauty of social media is there are so many different outlets. And yeah, there's going to be times where things work really well, or maybe you get put in, TikTok jail, but you just have to learn how to adapt and overcome. And also, like I said, don't feel like you have to create brand new content or something completely new, because, like anything in life, like fashion trends, for example, these designers aren't recreating brand new stuff. Everything just circles back around and is marketed in a different way.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. I agree with that totally. There's not going to be an original idea at this point. I think the value of looking to other niches, just so we all stay open minded, and everything that you said is spot on. And looking at other niches while you're looking at other examples inside of your own niche can still give you unique angles and ideas, even if it's for your bridge pages or your bridge page funnels. I remember when, and I give this example quite often, that when I was creating offers back in 2011, 2010, 2011, this was when I started to gain kind of traction. I mean, I made pretty close to $1 million my third year in, I think, third year of marketing online, something like that. Um, and so I was creating, building funnels before ClickFunnels even existed. And we were using we were either hard coding or using like Optimize Press or kind of other landing page plugins that you used in combination with WordPress. But I can just remember looking at examples from like the pickup artist niche. And the reason why that's a niche that it sounds kind of creepy, but there's a lot of really good copywriters and direct response marketers that are like in the dating niche, or it's not really like one of the big sub niches of the relationship niche is like the pickup artist. There's like a world of guys that study this and like think that the right line is going to like get them seriously. But these guys will buy information products and courses and stuff the same way. I mean, it's just a hot market, so kind of consider that, ladies or men. And there's great examples of that kind of stuff on ClickBank. Is you can see some examples of those kind of offers. But I can remember going to this offer called Pandora's Box by Vin DiCarlo in the dating niche, and or in the pickup niche, and just the marketing was so unique, the colors, the angle, three lines or three questions scientists use to pick up women, or to something like that. And I just thought it was the first time I'd ever seen the three weird questions, and I started using that. Now you see three weird questions used all across offers and all kinds of niches. But that was the first place I ever saw it. So sometimes you might find a unique angle from a different niche. Maybe it's a design, maybe it's a headline that you can kind of repurpose into and what that does is it just makes you stand out. So my challenge to all of you, and I'm owning this regardless of whether somebody else said it last week or not, is to continue to push the boundaries of your own creativity. And you're already an entrepreneur. I can tell that you're a creative person. So the challenge with a lot of people who have been being employees for so many decades is that we forget how to think for ourselves. So what are some of the things that you do, or that you might advise somebody who doesn't have an entrepreneurial background? You just gave some great tips. What else could somebody do to get in and get started, and not let some of the like, because you glossed over the getting your account shadow banned or shut down. What other things could people do who don't have the MLM experience, the Amazon experience? You've named off a couple of businesses, and although those might not have been the businesses you followed, they gave you some experience. So what should somebody who's coming from that corporate world, in your opinion, right now, who's coming into the online space, be kind of aware of? What are some of the landmines they might could look out for, in your opinion?
I mean, I definitely think that just, following, like I said, following people who are already successful in this space, looking, what they are doing. I feel like a lot of times, sometimes we overcomplicate things and we think that, we have to, because a lot of people always tell me, oh, you're so good at this. You're so good at talking on social media. But what they don't
Yeah.
see is the 10 different times I recorded it and re-recorded it just to post the video, So I
In the
started.
years that you've been talking to people in MLM or whatever, right? Like all that stuff, even though it felt like failure, like mattered. And that's the other thing that's really important, like that I'm thinking about as you said what you said, is that if your videos aren't as good as Stephanie's when you're doing them, it's because you're comparing your day 1 with her day 300. And I think that's another thing that we forget too. You know what I mean?
Yes, I feel like it's definitely hard to not compare yourself to other people. And I'm a firm believer, sometimes you just got to fake it till you make it. You could be the most like not confident person, but if you show up on that film and you fake like you're the most confident person in the room, like you
Like an
really
actor.
exude that. Like people are attracted to that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you don't have to be the best at everything, but you need to show up, because what I see is there's a tribe for everyone, right? Taylor
Yeah.
Swift has her own tribe. Cardi B has her own tribe of people. Marilyn Manson probably has his own tribe of people. Like there
Oh, he
are,
does. Oh, he
yeah,
does, girl. He does.
it doesn't matter, how you look or how confident you are, or, what you do for a living. All you have to do is just show up and do something, and
Yeah.
people will be attracted to you. I'm not
I love
everybody's cup
this.
of tea. I'm a mom. I have tattoos. I swear I don't go to church. Somebody who goes to church, who makes Pinterest sandwiches, who doesn't swear, isn't going to be attracted to me and what
They
I'm
might be.
putting out.
They might be. Come on now. They might be. They might get their little daily dose of bad behavior from watching your videos. You never know.
Yeah,
Come
that's
on
true.
now.
But there's billions of people in this world. Like there's somebody for everybody,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have your own tribe of people. So we need to just stop comparing ourselves to other people. And another thing that I will say, because right, it's all about showing up and filming content, and you have a lot of people who mostly are on social media just scrolling, right? Instead of actually posting stuff. And as soon as they hear that, you need to create content and like being on film and being on camera, like people get really nervous and that fear
Ooh,
sets in. And what
it's
I like to say are filters are your friends, okay? Unless you're trying to catfish somebody into a romantic relationship with you, don't use a
yeah.
filter. But if using a filter to make you feel more confident about showing up on camera, where you don't have to spend so much time like, oh no, but I need to put makeup on and I got to get, do my hair in order to show up on film, you don't. Filters are basically temporary free plastic surgery that will give you the confidence to show up on on film and just make the video, just film the content. Like it's not
She said
it's
it.
not that hard.
Hey, you know what? I can't really say it because I don't really have that sort of I can't come up here and mansplain myself away about just getting on. But when the chicks start talking that shit like you just did, it's on, baby. Hey, you know what? You heard it here first on Legendary Marketer. She said, fake it till you make it, baby. It's filters or plastics, digital plastic surgery. Get you some. That's what she said. And she ain't
But
apologizing about it.
but don't catfish anybody into a romantic relationship, okay? I will say filters
Right.
shouldn't be used for that. But hey, I went to film a video the other day and I was going to go on TikTok and go live, and I didn't have any makeup on, and my husband was like, I was like, okay, I'm going to go live. And he's like, well, don't you maybe want to like put put some makeup on or something? I'm like, no, I'm just going to use a filter. Like that's wastes too much time. I need to get stuff
It
done
does.
and film my content and call it a day. I think we overcomplicate things. Things aren't that
Yeah.
complicated. You just got to do it.
Like if I'm a guy and I can relate to the whole, and I think that's why I look so homeless that what now every day is because seriously, I also really thought was trying to overcompensate because I think I thought I was going to get judged for so long, like about like my history and like the fact that I don't have any business degrees or anything like that. And so I wanted to try to have a better presentation, even if it wasn't suit and tie. I wanted to look. I didn't want to look poor. I wanted to try to somehow look like I had like some money and was successful or something. And I think most dudes are more in that line of thinking rather than like, let me try to look handsome. It's like, let me try to look more like I got a higher status. You know what I mean? And so, but now, man, I got two kids, well, three, but two in the house. You know, come on, man. I ain't even got time to take a shower. No, I do. But in the morning, I don't get myself ready. I take a shower the night before, and I get up out of bed in the morning and I'm getting my kids ready with my wife. And like this morning, I took my kids to school and then I came back and now I'm here. There was no shower. There's no shower. There's no shower.
Well, people can't smell on camera, so that's good.
And that's so. I wanted to say one other thing about something that you said a second ago, which was like about the how people are afraid to get on camera and create content. Folks, yes, we all are afraid of public speaking. This is the most common fear. But if you can get over it, like I'm going to make a claim and nobody freak out here like I'm like promising anything, but dude, if you can create content and overcome your fear of getting in front of the camera, like you can get rich. You can get rich. Whether you learn it here or hopefully you can learn it somewhere else, but you can get rich because everybody is afraid to get on camera. Everybody. And you know what? Within like 5 or 10 years, everybody's going to be creating content. The content you're going to almost I guarantee you in 5-10 years you're going to have to. But right now it's like a choice. And those of you who think you're too late or you are just you're robbing your family. You know what I mean? Like you're actually taking money out of your children's mouth is the way I look at it. Because I feel like today, in as much as I feel like life is unfair, and I'm not in any way saying that life is fair. Life is unfair and it sucks for a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And the World Wide Web has created a more even playing field. And there's there's not just one door. The doors are all over. You know what I mean? It's not like you got to wait in a line because there's only one door to get in, like to get into college or to get a job, or you can come in and just start and just take what you want. As hard as you're willing to work, as much as you're willing to do, as much as you're willing to serve. You know what I mean? To me, that's it's unbelievable. The potential. And I want to shake people because anybody's purchase of some course is not going to change the quality of my life. I'm living simple as shit and I'm rich. I am. I'm rich as shit, but I live simple as hell. So it's not like I need more money. I'm just having fun. I would not have my life any other way. And I don't have anything that somebody else can't have except just time in this game. That's it. Time in the game. That's it. Not a nan brain cell more. I guarantee you the majority of you are smarter than I am. The majority of you. Not the minority. The majority of you are, but I got more time in the game, man. And that's all it is. It's like if you look at the math, like for those of you who are in your 50s, 60s, 70s, look at the math of if you would have started to simply put away $10,000, let's even call it $12,000 a year. If you would have just saved $12,000 a year and put it into some sort of an investment, earning a modest 10%. you'd be a freaking damn near a billionaire right now. If you had, in a disciplined way, just done the small little insignificant things that didn't feel like they were moving the needle. But most people can't even save the money that they make, and that's why they stay broke. So, Stephanie, how is this more than just marketing and making a commission for you? Is it is this something that you view as changing the dynamic within your family? Are you passing something different on to your kids than was passed on to you? Are you are you going to build wealth for your family? How is this bigger than just a commission for you?
Well, I feel like this is life changing. Like, this is like the internet. Ever since the internet came about, growing up, my parents were always like, money doesn't grow on trees. Well, clearly they didn't have the internet, because the internet is your money tree. And you could, like you said, reach out and take it, but you have to learn the skills to get there. And we aren't doing anything that hard, right? Anything new seems hard at first, but once you start doing it, it's not hard anymore. And like you said, you don't have to have this huge education or background or anything special. You just have to learn a few simple skills and be consistent and actually get stuff done. When I was growing up, everyone always used to say, money can't buy you happiness. Well, clearly they were broke, whoever said that, because every time I wake up in the morning and I look at my email and it says you just received a new commission, that makes me happy as shit. Like, I'm stoked. Who isn't happy to wake up and see you just earned a new commission while you were sleeping? So I feel like a lot of us have this like negative mindset about money, and we need to change the way that we think and feel about money. It's like the people that that are always saying, I always get sick. I'm sick all the time. Well, and then they always get sick. It's because they're always talking about how sick they are. And if you keep talking about how you're broke all the time, or you never have enough money, you're always going to be broke. We need to change the way that we think and we feel about money. And instead of just thinking about wanting more money, you have to go out and get that money. And whoever's on here watching this, clearly they're watching this for a reason, because they want, to change their life. They want more money. But it's like, what are you going to do to get there? You actually have to take action. You can listen to all the YouTube channels and watch all the trainings, but if you aren't actually doing something to get there, you're always going to be in the same place that you were before. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And for me, my husband is very educated. And like I said, he has this very high profile job, and he's always around all these very wealthy, educated people. And anytime he sees somebody who's successful in life, he automatically assumes that, oh, they must have been doing this for a long time. They must have a degree, or, have all this education. But what's so great about this business is you don't have to have any of that to be successful. Like, this changes the game for people. It doesn't matter how old you are, or how young you are, or your education, or your skills. You just have to learn something new and just implement those things. And for me, it's about building wealth, because when I go to my job where, I do people's makeup and I tattoo people's eyebrows, that's quick money, right? If I don't have a client, I'm not making money, but it's not wealth, right? When I go home after doing a client, I'm not still making money. When I'm at sleep, I'm not still making money. And I feel like most of us have been taught to go to our 9 to 5, and you have these clients, and that's quick money. But we're building wealth here, because the internet is 24/7, 365. So when you're asleep and somebody on the other side of the world is on the internet and they see your link and they click on something, that's how you build wealth. And I feel like people don't realize that it really is simple, but you just have to take action to get there and do something different. If you want it bad enough, you just have to do it. Stop thinking about it and just do it.
You're muted.
Wow, that's fantastic. I love talking just to myself. it's a fascinating thing, because I was thinking about when you were talking about not knowing how to get money. Nobody knows how to get money. Nobody knows, like, we sit here and talk, or most people, people, financial gurus, the Dave Ramseys of the world. A lot of the strategies are about budgeting, cutting costs, saving money, cutting fees, all this kind of stuff. And while that's great, the truth is that there's one thing that will solve all your problems, and will solve any business's problems. Not all your problems, but it will solve any business's problems. And that's cash flow. Cash flow's the number one thing that will solve any business problem. There's not a single thing that cash flow won't solve in a business. So if your business has strong cash flow, then it doesn't matter. You can make unlimited mistakes, in other words, because cash flow solves all problems. If you need to hire a new team member, executive, strategic person in your company, money will do that. If you need you need to make a bunch of stuff, money, you go get a loan sometime. Well, money, I need inventory, whatever. Money. And so money, cash flow solves business problems. So if cash flow solves business problems, money solves business problems. How do I get money? How do I create cash flow? Well, I didn't know that until I learned how to sell and market. And for example, all the stuff that we teach inside of the challenge and the blueprints. But I'll give you an example. Like, one way to sell is if we take the fishing formula, which is something that even if you don't have the blueprints, you can get a taste of it on the day 5 business plan class. But it's an 8-step process to sell anything. And the first thing that I need to do is I need to figure out kind of like, who is my target species? Like, who am I going to be targeting? And then where do they hang out? And then how can I get them coming to my boat, right? How can I get them coming to my boat? And then how do I get them in my boat? Well, I get them coming to my boat by using social media, right? Pretty much everybody's on social media at this point. I start chumming the waters and get them coming to my boat with content, value-based content. Then I got to come up with a bait to give them, so they'll give me their email address. Like a bait that they're going to bite. Not that they're just going to watch and scroll, but they're going to bite. They're going to say, hey man, I'm going to take a chomp out of that thing. And I see a little silvery thing there. Looks like something, a hook or something, but I don't care, because that bait's so tasty that I'm going to bite it anyways. Right? And then once you have the bait, it's like, okay, what's the right equipment that I need to be able to get them? Because if you bring the wrong pole, guess what? You're not going to be able to catch the fish that you set out to catch, right? You need to if you want to run a business that's totally systematized, you need to know who you're selling to, know where they hang out, know what you're going to do to get people to come and check you out, know what you're going to do to get people to at least start a transaction with you, which is them giving you a piece of their information. That's the power of the email. They're starting a transaction with you. They're giving you the least most intrusive piece of information, which will allow you to also, hey, I don't know about you. I ain't giving you my phone number. Here's my email though. You can probably relate to that as a female, right? Bunch of dude, right? Okay. I don't know about you. You look all right. I'm getting a lot of passion, but some red flags are going off too. Here's my email. Right? So that's what we do as marketers. Here's we want that email, right? It's that beginning of that, right? That transaction or that relationship, right? But how do we create a process that gets people to do that over and over again? Well, a lot of times with affiliate marketing, it's that bridge page funnel. It's a simple 2-page process. And all along the way, the words that I say at each place matter. That's the dynamics. I just went through the mechanics of how to sell. But at this point, see, it should be starting to make sense that if up until this point, I've chummed the waters with value and humor and education, I've now offered them something value in exchange for their email address. This is when I can start to begin to ask them for something, for some money in exchange for something. Now that I've got them where I've delivered enough value, where it's kind of like dating. I mean, if I've got her to give me her email address, I might have wanted the number, but I can work with that. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
can work with that. And that's the difference between a guy who can close, right, and a guy who can't. The guy who says the email address, he does not even know what to say. Well, he ain't gonna get laid or paid. I'm just keeping it real. So in business, you have to, okay, I gotta know what to say, right? Well, that's why I need to learn copywriting, because that's what's gonna get you paid. You're gonna learn what to put on those pages. And so why am I going through all this? Because we don't have to it's selling in getting money doesn't have to be a mystery. If you're new here and you hear us talking about wealth and getting rich and all this, and you're like, but how do I get the money? That little 5-minute teaser trailer that I just gave you right there probably sounds like a bunch of gibberish. But if you immerse yourself for the next 30 to 90 days, listening to Wake Up Legendary every day, going through as much education here as you can manage, as much as you can afford, as much as you can commit to, this making money, getting money, how money's made online will no longer be a mystery to you. But most of us, going back to your original point of this entire episode, will stand at the front door and overthink it, won't we?
Yep. Most people do. We always tell our boys, are you going to be a lion today or are you going to be a sheep? Because lions, when they're hungry, they go out and they get their meal. Sheep just follow along and do what everybody else does. So, if you want something bad enough, you just got to do it. And sometimes, you don't even have to know how you're going to do it, but you just have to do something and don't expect results right away, right? We all want to get in shape. We all want to get abs. Well, you don't go to the gym one time and all of a sudden you come back and you have a 6-pack, right? You have to keep going and you have to keep being consistent and do the same things over and over again. And if you're consistent enough, eventually you're going to get those results.
Yeah. So true. Well, Stephanie, it is your birthday, woman. It is your birthday. Happy
Yes.
birthday to you.
Thank you
For
so
real.
much.
And congratulations on your, your success and also your mindset and your perspective. That I think is the real gift in all of this, because, and it's of course the knowledge that you have, nobody can take from you, but it's like you shared today something golden in the danger of overthinking and how it can lead to analysis paralysis. I mean, it can keep us, it can not only, I gave the example earlier of weighing us down, becoming heavy, but you also gave several examples as well. And what you've done as a result of not overthinking things is wonderful. And I hope you'll come back and keep sharing the journey with us.
Thank you. Yes, I'm just getting started. I'm excited.
I know you are. I know you are. Well, tell your husband and your entire family thank you for your service, and have a great birthday. All right. Happy birthday again, and stay legendary. Okay. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
See ya. Bye. All right, my friends, you can follow her at Side Hustle with Steph. Okay. And then you can follow her over at Instagram, Side Hustle with Steph, but it's just got a period between each word, Side Hustle with Steph, not a period at the end, just a period between the other words. All right, my friends, there it is, Monday. Hey, check this out. Listen, real close. Florida has a hurricane headed our way. So we will likely have fill-in from our legendary team and partners here. It could be Joanne, it could be Matt, you know what I mean? But I may be absent over the next day or so. And that reason is because we've got a hurricane coming. Now, will I be safe? Yes, I will. 1000%. There is not only do we have a safe home, but we've got places here in town that we've evacuated to before that we're really safe. So I'll make sure that I stay safe, that my family stays safe. But if I'm not here tomorrow, that'll be why. Thoughts and prayers and positive energy to everybody right now in Cuba. And also, if God forbid, anybody in Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas gets hit by this one, we'll be definitely sending you a lot of thoughts, a lot of vibes, a lot of prayers, and we'll help if we can. All right, my friends, have a great day. Have a great Monday. Let's have a great week. Be legendary. We'll see you back here for another episode tomorrow.